Good evening, this is CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. Well, according to the Centers of Disease Control and Prevention, sickle cell anemia occurs in 1 out of every 365 births among African Americans. Today, a blood drive was held to help those in need. Byron Scott reports.
Come out, give blood.
To Jana Parker, this blood drive in District Heights is a social justice issue.
Prince George's County has the highest black population in the area, and in that capacity, we actually have the highest demand for blood, but we have the lowest blood donors. And so it's an extremely important racial and social justice issue that we need our community to know about.
The drive, which goes until 6 tonight, is being held at the District Heights Municipal Building on Marbury Drive.
We need folks to have a similar ethnic background so the blood matches up correctly. And if you think about it, if someone's receiving transfusions a lot over time they could build a resistance to that blood. So that's why we encourage diverse folks to donate as much as possible so we have that constant supply of diverse blood to match up correctly to those with sickle cell disease and prevent those types of complications that could happen over time.
Sickle cells are crescent shaped like a moon.
Tanika Hoffman is with the Sickle Cells Coalition of Maryland. She also suffers from the blood disorder. She says it's vitally important for people to donate blood.
And so in the life of a sickle cell warrior, they can receive in a year up to 120 units of blood. And it's important that when we are receiving blood, it's from within our own ethnicity. I also have sickle cell disease, and I actually got very, very sick about 4 years ago from receiving blood that was not cross-matched for someone within our community. And so it's important for Black people, brown people, people of color to donate, because our bodies respond much better when we have blood from within our ethnicity.
According to some reports, blacks donate blood at a much lower rate than whites. The reason why is unclear.
I don't know if it's a reluctance or maybe there's not opportunities. So we have to look at two things: educating people around the need, and then making sure we're going into the communities that predominantly have people of color, and then also letting them understand why it's important that they donate. And so I think more people will be willing if they knew about the reasons why it matters and had opportunities to do so.
The Red Cross expects 40 people to donate today, people like Ms. Marbury.
It makes me feel good for donating.
Byron Scott, CTV News.
Again, the event goes until 6. The facility is located at 2000 Marbury Drive in District Heights. Well, hundreds of Black women from all walks of life flocked to the National Harbor this morning. Today was day 3 of the 12th annual Women of Power National Summit at the Gaylord National Resort and Convention Center. The 5-day event is hosted by the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation. This year's theme is called It's Time to Reset, Rejuvenate, Reimagine, Resist, and Act. The event is designed to uplift and empower its attendees with new tools and information as many continue to work to better their communities.
In this room who have fought for voting rights. I was here the other night where we had a panel discussion regarding health care and how to care for our bodies, talked about everything from breast care to grieving. So this is a summit of women who have come together from various disciplines. There are women in this room who are professional women from every area who are sharing information with each other and talking about the ways that we can empower our communities.
And also, Brooks served as the honorary chair of the event. The summit will conclude on Sunday with a gospel brunch. Well, as we reported over the past few days, a scathing report about child sex abuse in the Archdiocese of Baltimore is expected to be released any time now. In addition, a law that would extend the statute of limitations for child victims of sex abuse is now making its way through the Maryland General Assembly after years of never getting out of committee. David Lorenz is the Maryland State Director of SNAP, the Survivors Network of Those Abused by Priests. Today, he tells his own personal story of how he became a victim of a clergy member.
I was abused by a priest who was put in as a guidance counselor at my all-boys high school. He had 50 accusations against him already. And somehow the bishop decided that it would be a good idea to put this priest, who had abused 50 people, into an all-boys high school as a guidance counselor. I know for a fact that he abused at least 52 people in my class, at least, because I was the 52nd case that came forward. So I don't know if anything came after me, but I know that I was the 52nd case filed. And you'll see that pattern here. almost without doubt. You'll see that they constantly chose the institution, the interests of the institution, the interest of the church over the interest of the child.
Well, Senate Bill 686, the Child Victims Act of 2023, passed the Senate yesterday and is now in the House chamber. The retroactive measure will allow childhood sex abuse survivors to bring lawsuits even if their claims expired under a previous statute of limitations. Well, here are the latest COVID-19 numbers that are rounding out the week. The Maryland Department of Health has confirmed 1,382 cases this week. The county's positivity rate has dipped below 5% for the first time since mid-April of 2022. 30 Marylanders have died of COVID this past week, including 8 over the past 24 hours. 266 people are hospitalized. Also, the county has issued an executive order rescinding the COVID-19 vaccination and testing requirements for all county government vendors and contractors. And now this important reminder, a public hearing on traffic safety issues is scheduled for tonight. It comes in the wake of last week's crash on Ritchie Marlboro Road that killed a Wise High School student. The meeting is hosted by County Council Vice Chair Walla Blagay, the Department of Public Works and Transportation, and police. The meeting is set for tonight at 6 at the Wise High School gym located in the 1200 block of Brook Lane in Upper Marlboro. Residents complain that speeding cars have long been a problem on Ritchie Marlboro Road. And if you are heading out to enjoy some celebratory drinks for St. Patrick's Day, don't forget to plan your sober ride home. The Maryland Department of Transportation will be providing $15 of rideshare credits through Lyft. Officials say this offer is limited and only available today and Saturday. Lyft riders will have to put in a code in the payment section of the app. To get the code, visit zerodeathsmd.gov/rideshare. A crash in Suitland last night leaves one man dead. Police say 65-year-old Maurice Berry of the district was traveling northbound on Pennsylvania Avenue about 10:30 p.m. He was struck by an SUV while making a left turn on Spalding Avenue. Berry was pronounced dead on the scene. The driver of the SUV sustained minor injuries. Anyone with info on this case is asked to contact police. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. We'll be back in just a moment.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Well, a Montgomery County high school counselor is facing sex abuse charges. 24-year-old Clarence McNary is accused of abusing a 16-year-old student on at least 2 occasions. The alleged incidents occurred on the campus of Watkins Mill High School last fall. McNary worked at the school's wellness center. He was arrested on Tuesday. And a Mount Rainier man is sentenced to 32 years in federal prison for production of child pornography. His 57-year-old Gage Linden was arrested in November 2020 after sexually explicit photos and videos were found on his cell phone and laptop. Some of the images depicted 2 victims between the ages of 7 and 11 years old. As part of his plea agreement, Linden will also face related sex abuse charges in Prince George's Circuit Court. That case is scheduled for sentencing on March 22nd. The Prince George's County delegation in Annapolis heard from Bowie State University President Aminta Breaux this morning. The president updated lawmakers about the university's strategic plan. Breaux told the delegation that Bowie State recently enrolled its largest first full-time class ever, with the student body growing by 2.6% since 2017. She also talked about a historic partnership with another HBCU and the federal government.
We are now in a partnership with Howard University with the funds of $90 million coming through the Department of Defense. For the first time, an HBCU has established a UARC, a university-affiliated research center. It is historic, never been done before. And Bowie State University is very proud and honored to be among the HBCUs partnering on this endeavor with Howard University, with $4.25 million coming to Bowie State University.
And Bro also says the university is campaigning to raise $50 million in private donations for the school. And Prince George's Parks and Recreation is back offering its kids' summer camp program this year. Carlos Flores with Parks and Rec says now is the time to sign up for camp. He says there is a lot to offer this summer.
Anybody that's interested in registering for summer day camp, we ask that you have to have a Parks Direct account. You can do that online at pgparksdirect.com. And on the top right-hand side, you'll see where it says create new account. We have culinary camp. We have computer animation camp. One of the new ones this year is cake decorating camp. And we have, we also do like enrichment camps, which is where children can come and learn either math or writing skills or other skills that could help them during the regular school year.
And other camps such as swim, dance, and life skills are also being offered. If you're a resident of the county, registration has already begun. If you are outside of Prince George's, you can register starting next Wednesday, the 22nd. Still ahead here on CTV News tonight, Simon Buggs and your Friday Sports Page report. Stay with us.
Hey sports fans, Simon Buggs here. And coming up in a bit, a UMD women's basketball player gets recognized for her great play this season, and a new sports team comes to DC. Stay tuned.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
UMD women's basketball player Diamond Miller has had a great season. The Lady Terps senior is averaging 19.7 points per game, which leads the team and is ranked third in the Big Ten. She is also averaging 6.5 rebounds per game. Against ranked teams, Miller is averaging 23.3 points and almost 7 rebounds per game. Miller has also led the Lady Terps to 7 wins over teams ranked in the top 25, as well as 4 that are ranked in the top 10. And due to this stellar season, she has been named a second-team All-American. Miller has been named an All-American by the Associated Press, the U.S. Basketball Writers Association, and The Athletic. She and the Lady Terps will play this afternoon against Holy Cross. And if they advance, they will face the winner of the matchup between Arizona and West Virginia. Moving on to news in the world of cricket, a professional cricket team will be representing the nation's capital. The Washington Freedom will be DC's first ever professional cricket franchise. The Freedom will play teams based in Texas, New York, Seattle, and San Francisco. The season will have 19 matches being played over 18 days beginning on July 13th. The Freedom will begin their season in Texas at Grand Prairie Stadium. And to wrap up sports, it will be an exciting time for Terps fans tomorrow night as the men's basketball team will take the court again in March Madness. The Terps will be going up against the number 1 seed Alabama at 9:40 after defeating West Virginia in a close matchup yesterday.
I'm more excited about this group. You know, Jameer comes as a transfer in, Don comes in, transfers in. Juju, Hawk, and Dante stay. It's not easy putting together a group that's gonna be so together, but you know, you have to give credit to these young men. They've worked hard, they've had a great attitude, and I'm just excited for them.
Simon Buggs, CTV Sports.
Thanks, Simon. And that is CTV News for now. Join us again on Monday. Have a great weekend.
I am blind, but I need not see. I know this road is there for me.
My advice to all the fathers out there, they grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.